Paid time off. What is paid time off? Paid time off. All right. This is the section here. It's called paid time off. PTO. This is the favorite part of employees. Paid time off. That means that you are off, but you are paid. All right. So what is paid time off? This is a workplace benefit allowing employees to take time off from work while still receiving their regular pay. It includes weekends, public holidays, sick leave, and annual leave. All right. So here it has different headings. It has like it has the here is like opening balance, increase or decrease, and closing balance. Okay, you have these are the major type of leaves. Okay, public holiday, sick leaves, and annual leave. All right, these are the major part of paid time off. Remember, paid time off is also called leave. All right. So we have other things like paternity leave, maternity leave, weekends, and others. Right? These are the three major popular ones. That means that this blank space here, if you have an extra leave, you can put it here. Okay. So the opening balance shows the amount of paid time of brought forward from the previous month. That is last month's closing balance. All right. Let's say last month my closing balance for public holiday was 2, and this month is like 0. My closing balance will be like 2. I will explain this further. Okay, increase or decrease. All right, paid time offs increase and they decrease whether when you it means that when you take them and when you don't take them. All right, paid time off. Remember, paid time off is the amount of time that you are away from work, absent, but you are being paid for despite being absent. Right. So PTOs added or subtracted from your opening balance, e.g. +1, -1, like whatever. All right. So closing balance. This is the remaining paid time of left for each category. Okay. The closing balance of each month will be the opening balance of the next month. Let's say the closing balance is here, will be the opening balance of the next month. Okay, so I think I should come here and explain further. Okay, let's say last month June, okay, my opening balance for June is let's say for July, we're in July right now. Okay, my opening balance means that the company owes me 2 public holidays. Okay, that was the closing balance of June. Okay, sick leave. Okay, 14 days of sick leave. That means that 14 days I cannot, when I am sick, extremely sick, or I cannot come to work due to sickness or personal emergency. All right, 14 days owed to me. All right, annual leave 15 days is owed to me, 15 work days. So this is the opening, because this is what I closed with on June, so I open it. So if there is an increase, let's say there was a public holiday that I came, let's say I put here +2. Okay, if I take like a public holiday leave, one public holiday leave, I put here -1. Okay, then yeah, so during the month of July, let's assume that the entire month of July I took 2 public holiday days were added to my public holiday, and I took 1 public holiday leave. That means that how much will be left to me? Okay, because 2 + 2 is 4, -1. 2 + 2, I think there is like a song. 1 + 1 is 2, -1. Forget about that. Okay, 2 + 2 is 4, -1. That's freaking 3. All right, so my closing balance will be 3, and this 3 is the one I will use to open for August. All right, the same thing with sick leave. Maybe I was sick for like 2 days. Okay, so I took 2 days sick leave in July. Then okay, so I put here -2. But remember, if I took 2 days, it means that 2 is subtracted from my leave. Look, remember, this 14 is given to me for the entire year to enjoy. Okay, so anytime I take a sick leave, I have to reduce. So so how much sick leave is left for me now to enjoy? 12. All right, so this will be the opening balance of August. All right, annual leave. Okay, probably I took the entire 15 work days of annual leave in July. Okay, sorry, I did not take any. Probably I decided to take it in August. All right, so I'll put it. Sometimes you can put here 0 if it's nothing, or you can just leave it blank. So you will close with 15, because if you don't take any of your annual leave, so that means that So my next month will be like this. So I hope you understand how these things work. All right. So let's go on and talk about what else. Public holiday leave. Let's get further into this. You are not required to come to work on a certain public holidays. If Baro say tomorrow is public holiday, okay, you don't need to take permission. You just don't come. Pew. You just don't come. It's a public holiday, man. The government says it's a public holiday. That's why Baro normally announces public holidays for people to know it's public holiday. Okay. If your presence is needed, okay, if your presence is needed, the company shall notify you through the right channels at least the day before, the day before the public holiday. Let's say if tomorrow is public holiday, let's say tomorrow or July 8th is public holiday, and the company wants you to come to work. The company will tell all those people who it wants to come to work. It will probably mention the right channels, meaning probably on the WhatsApp group chat or email. All right, so this is what will happen. So if the company does not notify you to come on a public holiday, just assume that normally you should not come. All right. When you report to work on a public holiday, let's say the company has told you to come on a public holiday. All right, so then you come on the public holiday. So that means that 2 days will be granted to you. 2 days will be granted. 2 days will be added to your public holiday leave. Okay, remember the public holiday thing? I was probably, you see, in the handbook, so you see, +2 means like 2 days was given to me. All right, 2 days was given to me. Let's say tomorrow is public holiday and I came to work, so that means I enjoy 2 days extra. I can take it anytime I want. I can take it anytime to enjoy those 2 days off because I came on a public holiday. Okay, so it's like pay for one and get one free. All right. So when you report to work on a public holiday, 2 days will be added to your public holiday leave, or a payment worth 2 days of fixed salary will be added to your income at the end of each year, at the end of the year or your tenure. All right. So public holiday. Remember, just like overtime. Overtime you can come and say, give me my overtime pay. All right, and the company. But public holiday, you cannot just come and say, remember these two. Let's say this three closing, let's say you have three public holiday leaves and the month is closing. You remember when the month is closing, the year is closing, we will refresh everything. Some people, they will have public holiday leaves and they don't take it. But at the end of the year, when we notice that you have like a closing balance, let's say of 3, so the company will look at it. Let's say my salary is 25,000, and okay, 25,000 divided by probably, let's say 25,000 divided by, let me see, for sure. Okay, 25,000 divided by 30, divided by 30, it's 833. So that means that the company will pay me times 3. Oops. Times 3 is equals to, put it here, calculator. This is equal to 2,500. So 2,500 will be added to my salary in at the end of the year. All right. Remember, it's not at the end of the month that you come and say, give me my. You cannot convert this until at the end of the year. That is what this thing is talking about. Okay. This thing is talking about here, right? You see, or a payment of 2 days of fixed salary will be added to your income at the end of the, 2 days. I mean that we are talking about one public holiday. Like, you understand? It's not like 2 days. You remember there we talk about 3 is there because that means that 2 days of work leave always will be added if you don't take it. Like this one, like this 2, right? Where are we? So number 4, when a public holiday leave falls on your weekend, a day will be added to your public holiday leave. This is this is probably the craziest thing I've seen. Like, let's say on a Sunday, let's say I don't come to work on Sundays, okay, and Sunday is a public holiday. Okay, normally Sunday is my weekend. I don't come to work Okay, and also there is a weekend, probably it is Eid, or it is, Ashura or whatever, or it is Easter. So that means that if that day is my weekend and it's a public holiday, like that public holiday, I will have to enjoy it. I will say, okay, Sunday I don't come to work, it's my weekend, and it was also a public holiday. So that means that Monday I will not come to work. Yeah, to enjoy that public holiday as well. So that's how it works. I don't know who devised this type of law. So let's say I will explain this further. Okay, you will know. Okay, when you want to take a, I think I should go right now and start explaining, because it will better understand it. Let's say let's come here. All right. So let's say on the 8th. Okay, on the 8th I came to sorry. Let's say on the 13th. Let's say on the 12th. Okay, on the 12th is a public. On the 12th is my weekend. On the 12th is my weekend. All right. Normally weekends you don't sign in, you don't sign out. You just leave it blank like that. All right. You don't sign in, you don't sign out. You don't, unless something dramatic happen like a public holiday. All right. Let's say on the 12th is a weekend and it's a public. You just come in here and record it nicely. Say here public holiday, public public holiday, public holiday, holiday plus one. Okay, public holiday +1. Whenever you put here +1, you should always add it here. You should always add it here as +1. Let's assume these things were not there. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. All right. Let me remove this as well to keep it clean. All right. So let's say on that weekend, it was my weekend, but there was also a public holiday. That means that it +1. I can take it anytime I want. I can decide to take it on a Monday by notifying the company. But all right. So this was a weekend. I did not come, but I will record it here to indicate, yep, it's +1. Let's say on the 17th. Let's say on the 17th, it was a public holiday. I came. The company said, hey, Mukhtar, you must come. All right. So I came on time. Okay, I came on time on the 17th. I came on time. Okay, I left on time on the 17th. And okay, I put here public holiday. Public holiday. Holiday. All right, public holiday. I put there +2. Why do I put there +2? Because when you come on a public holiday, when you come to work on a public holiday, you will have 2 days extra to add it to your work to your public holiday leave. So you come here, okay, and see here +2. Remember, your pluses are increasing. +2, +2. All right, plus +2. All right. So imagine now you have all this thing. You have 2 + 1 + 2. That's 5. Wow, 5 days of paid time off that you can take and go and enjoy yourself and then come back. All right. But you need to take permission from the company. All right. All right. So when you want to take a public holiday leave, you must formally make a request to the CEO through the right channels. I emphasize this, right channel. You cannot just come to say tomorrow I want to take my public holiday leave, and then you have to write it down formally. That's why you have to formally make a request through the right channels. And at Jollof events, I think we will cover that topic shortly. How to communicate within the company, how you communicate with the admin and stuff. All right, property either through email or through our WhatsApp group chat to say that you are not going to come. So you need to do this at least 12 p.m. the day before the leave. Otherwise, it will be regarded as an abnormal absence. We'll talk about what abnormal absence is later. But right now, just know that, okay, you need to make a request before noon. Before noon. Let's say I want to take my public holiday leave tomorrow. I need to make a request, okay, before noon today, before 12. Or if I wait until 1, that one will not be accepted by the company. All right. The request must fall during the weekdays as well, Monday to Friday. That's when admin is normally available. during, because admin, they normally take their days or probably Saturday, Sunday. It depends, but it has to be within Monday to Friday. Okay, during that time, the admin will probably have the time to see your request and also to act upon your request. The CEO or designated person shall respond to your leave request above at most 4 p.m. before the day. Okay, before the day ends. Like for example, if I request for a public holiday tomorrow using the right channels, email or the group chat, and nobody responded to my um to my request, that means that I will assume that it is accepted and I will go on and take it. If they ask me tomorrow, hey, why did you? I say, I requested it before 12 as normal as I should be doing. So it's not my fault. All right. So that's how it works. Okay. Okay. The CEO reserves the right to accept or decline your request based on circumstances of the. Sometimes you can say, I want to take public holiday leave tomorrow, and the CEO will say, nope. Remember, the CEO, a designated person, someone representing the CEO might say, nope, tomorrow, ooh, we are very busy, you cannot take it. And I'm sorry, you don't have any choice, okay? You will take it another day. Unless probably it's probably something, very, very critical. All right. You may also be obliged by the company to take this leave and other paid time off during downtime. Okay. Some people might amass like 7, 8 days of like public holiday leave, and then the company will come to you and tell you, hey, take your leave. All right. Because if you take your leave, especially right now, we are not that much busy. Okay. So the company will come to you and say, hey, Fatu, Modu, take your leave. Okay. Take your leave by force. I'm just assuming. All right. You may be obliged by the company to take a leave. I've already talked about it. Okay, note that when you report to work on a public holiday, you must arrive and depart. People are fond of this. Like, okay, tomorrow is public holiday, for example, and staff that are required to come to work on a public holiday, they come like late. They think, this is public holiday. No, you have to come as though it is a normal day. You come on time and you leave on time. Okay, that is how it is supposed to be. Right? Okay, let's give more examples on let's do more examples on public holidays. All right, let's say on the 19th, all the way to on the 21st, I requested for public holiday leave. All right, so and it's not a weekend. All right, it's not a weekend. Let's say on the 19th, so I put here public holiday. Public holiday. Let me copy this so that I do not have to write public holiday all over again. All right. So on the 19th, let's say, okay, I took a public holiday leave. All right. I requested and it was accepted from on the 19th all the way to on the 20, 21, 21st. All right. So I will put here public holiday minus one. Okay. I will put here again public holiday minus one. And I will put here public holiday minus one. Public holiday minus one. Minus one. All right. Or I can just put here, ta, 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 ta. It's faster. I think it's faster that way. Okay. Like remember, you just put here like this. You just come and do here like those two strokes. Remember those two strokes? Okay. That means that like this to indicate it's the same thing here. It's the same thing I'm doing here. All right. So now you have minus 3 days. Minus 3 days. Okay. You can say minus one, minus one, minus one over here. You can come here and write minus. I think it's better to just write minus one, minus one. Okay, or you can just say minus three, minus three, minus three. But I prefer you to put minus one, minus one, minus one. I think it keeps it clean. So that means that at the end of the month, my closing balance will be what? Okay, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 2, 5, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. That is 2 left. Yep. So you see how it works, right? So you need to take your calculator. If you want, you can use your calculator. Okay, you can use your calculator and say, okay, 2. I started with 2. Okay, you put what you started with, opening balance. So you added there 1. You added there another 1. Sorry, you added there another 2. Okay, you minus 1, minus 1, minus 1, minus 1. Sorry, 1. How much am I left with? 2. Okay, now your closing balance is 2. This 2 is what you will use again to open uh, the next month. Okay, I don't want these two to be the same, Okay, let's say somehow I got another public holiday. Okay, let's say somehow I got another public holiday. I put there plus one. Okay, okay. Now if you do the math, you will end up with 3. Yeah, at least we have a different closing balance. You will end up with 3. So that's public holiday. I think you understand now what it means. Now let's move on to the most controversial one, sick leave. Sick leave. There's a lot of gray area in this one. You are entitled to 14 days of sick leave every year. That is like 4% of the year. You are entitled to sick leave. Like, okay. The reason why I put here 4% is because some people they don't work for the company for the whole year. Some people they work for 6 months, especially those contract workers like you, first month your contract is renewed, second month it is renewed, and third month the company is like, yeah, no, we are not renewing, so we'll go and look for work elsewhere. Something like that. All right. So 4% DAL. 4% is what is granted to you. Sick leave for contract employees. Indefinite employees are employees who work like there's nothing like your contract will expire so date. We'll talk about more about what is definite and indefinite employee. Who is a definite and an indefinite employee. Okay, so sick leave for contract employees shall correspond to 4% of their duration. Let's say if you work for 3 months, if your contract is 3 months, let's use the calculator as well. If your contract is 3 months, okay, let me refresh here. So 3 months is like 90 days. So you say 90 times 4%, right? Times 4%. 4%. That means that 3.6 to the nearest day, because you cannot have 3.6 days. Let's say 4 days. You have 4 days, all right? So 4 days of sick leave, wherein you can be sick, you stay home, and the company will still pay you. Only 4 days. Remember, the one who works for a whole year is 14 days, but the one who works for, let's say, 3 months only is 4 days. So that's how you calculate the amount of sick leave you are entitled to at the end of the year, depending on what your contract is. You shall not take sick leave if you are not sick. Remember, most people they will be born of like, today I don't feel like going home. Let me just call. Hello, I am sick. Don't do that. You can because the company also will require you to provide certain things, certain evidence to show that you are sick. Okay. Sick hearing shall mean serious illness or injury that makes you incapable of reporting to work or carrying out your normal work functions or putting your colleagues at risk of serious infection. Okay, when you have like serious fresh cold. I'm not saying, fresh cold happens to everyone, but sometimes you don't want to give your co-workers fresh cold or certain things, All right. The sickness must be formally proven through a proper documentation, such as doctor's note or pharmacy bills. You cannot just say I'm sick and you need to provide evidence, hardcore evidence that you are sick. Probably you need to come the following day with a broken leg or a scar face or a doctor's medical bill. It can be anything that shows evidence that you are sick, right? You cannot just say I cannot come because I am sick and that's all and just call it a day. All right. So if you cannot report to work due to illness or any other personal emergency, you or someone else on your behalf must formally communicate it to the CEO through the right channels at least before the opening time or a work day, no matter how grave the emergency is, no matter how serious the emergency is. Otherwise, it will be counted as an abnormal absence. Remember, at Jollof events, if you have abnormal absence, it is deducted from your salary. Okay, and not only deducted from your salary, the company will be looking at you with close eyes, because if you do a lot of abnormal absence, you will be dismissed straight away. Bam. All right, what this means here is like you need to notify the company. Let's say today is on the 7th, for example. You need to notify the company before the work day. Like, other public holiday is the day before 12 p.m. But emergency sick, you can be sick, you can have accident at any time. That's why the company has granted you at least like today's opening time is what? 8 a.m. Okay, so if you don't give notice before 8 a.m., like even if you give a notice 2 past 8, that means that no matter, even if you are dead, the company will not treat it as a sick leave. Okay, because you did not use the right protocol. What is the right protocol? At least before the opening time. I think I mentioned it here. The opening time, you see here, the opening time. At least before the opening time. All right, before 8 a.m. Okay, that's the opening time. All right, I think opening time at Jollof events is 8 to 8:15. Like, what is this? Let's go back to the attendance, daily attendance. Okay, opening time, the arrival at events. This is the opening time. Okay, 8 a.m. to 8:15. Okay, now I can say that before opening time here means what? 8 to 8:15. During that time, okay, if you give a notice 6 past 8, like all those things will be acceptable. Let's say after 15 past 8, 15 past 8, 16 past 8, you give a notice that you cannot come because you are sick. Bam, not accepted because it is after the opening time. All right. All right, okay, it is after the opening time, and if you give a notice that you are coming, you are not coming because you are sick, after, it will not be accepted. Okay, no matter how serious this. That's why if you know that, that's why you should always tell your partner or your family or anyone who is close to you, please, if anything happens to me, first of all, call my workplace, tell them that something has happened to this person, they cannot come today. Because we don't want a scenario wherein Modu doesn't show up at work and then nobody knows what happens. Okay, so you don't expect the company to be calling, hello Modu, why didn't you come yet? Like, we are waiting for you, you are supposed to do this, that. Like, the company will never do that. The company will never do that. Okay, so the company expects you to be notifying them. Notify the company no matter what, whether you or someone who is close to you. All right, if you don't have WhatsApp or email, please call someone at the workplace, probably your co-workers. Tell, hey, Mukhtar, can you please tell admin that I cannot be able to come? Okay, okay, it's not like you also don't call the company and tell them. All right, let's say, okay, if you call the company, all right, and then tell them, please tell that company person that you are calling, whether the CEO or your co-worker, tell them to use to send it to the WhatsApp chat or email. All right, so tell them to send it to the WhatsApp chat or email. This is very critical. The reason why I'm spending a lot of time here is because I want you to understand this. Okay, no matter how serious your sickness is, you should be able to do it. If you cannot, you can tell somebody to do that on your behalf. Okay, give proper time notice. Okay, and when you come the following day, or when you come back, or you can use it before you come back, send the evidence that you are sick. All right, let me repeat it again. If you cannot report to work due to illness or any other personal emergency, you or someone else on your behalf must formally communicate it to the CEO through the right channels, at least before the opening time of a workday, no matter how grave the emergency is. Otherwise, it will be counted as an abnormal absence. All right. Upon sickness or personal emergency, you or your representative shall periodically update the company about the situation. Again, here as well. All right. Do not expect the company to call you for updates regarding your situations. Okay. Let me finish number 7 before explaining this further. You are advised to have someone, preferably your next of kin, who will communicate with the company on your behalf when you are not able to do so. That's what I just mentioned. Okay. Remember, if you are sick, you cannot come today, and tomorrow as well. You cannot, like, for example, you are sick today, you cannot come. Next tomorrow you are sick. You need to do the same method again. Tell the company you cannot come. Then the following day you have to repeat it. I think I will mention it further. There is another statement further that talks about that. All right. You are advised to have someone. Remember, always have someone to be telling the company, and also updating the. You don't expect the company to be calling Modu, how are you? Like, it's not scalable. Sometimes The company is not a human being. Okay, people working for the company are human being. But that's why in Jollof events, at Jollof events, we are trying to systemize everything, make things proper, simple, so that it can be manageable. Everybody can manage the company. All right. Hello, Fatu. How are you doing today? Will you be able to come tomorrow? Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. It should be other way around. Calling the company. Yeah. Right now, I went to the hospital and they told me that I cannot come tomorrow. I need to take a rest, something like that. Okay, or you call the company. It's fine. Then I think I will be able to come today. It's not serious. I went and they put band-aid on my hand. Like you should be constantly updating the company, not the other way around. The company, like most propables, they will say you have to care for the employee. All this, the company is will chaos. But when you have many employees, you are busy like building other fires. So to be quite frank, that way, that's job events. You don't do it like that. Okay. If something happens to you, you need to update the company, not the other way around. All right, enough of this rant. Let's move on. Okay. Let me give examples of this in practice. Let's say on the 13th, I did not come. Let's say, man, on the 13th, I did not come to work. On the 13th, I did not come to work. Okay. Remember, when you don't come to work, you don't sign in, you don't sign up because you don't come to work. Okay, you say here, I was sick. Just put there sick. All right, you might add there malaria. Malaria. Just to, for more details so that, the company will not ask you a lot of stuff, blah, blah. You just put there sick. Okay, sick. And move on. All right. So another day also, let's say on the 16, 26, I was sick. All right, I put here sick. Sorry, I put here sick as well. Sick. Sick. All right. Sick. Okay. So remember, I have here sick. I have here sick. Okay. Let's assume that this sickness, let's say this sick, I put here toothache. 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 I don't know where I spelled toothache well, but that's just it. All right. C-A-C. All right. Sick toothache. Let's assume that this public holiday leave, this public holiday, I use the proper notice period. Okay, I did the proper thing. I noticed the company before the work time. Everything was cool. But this on the 26th one, I did not notice the company. Okay, I did not notice the company as well. So now what will happen here in the leave area? So I should put here -1. Okay, because the other one, you will realize that is leave absent. That one is, they will deduct it from your salary because you did not use your toothache problem. You did not use the right channels. You did not do the proper thing that you are supposed to do. Remember, the proper thing is to notify the company before the beginning of the work day, before the opening time. You did not do that. Okay. Let's say here as well on the 30th. Okay, I was sick. Okay, I was sick, and this time I decided not to say anything. I'm done with giving reason. Okay, so but here I noticed the company on time. I noticed the company. Let's say I noticed the company on time. I like, okay, and everything is smooth, But then I did not have evidence for my sickness. This two again, you don't take it. Okay, let's say if you don't provide evidence for your sickness, even if you use the right channels, you communicate well to the company, where is the evidence? So this one you don't need to -1. So this one, that means that you have 2 days, 2 days -2. You don't put here -2, but -2. Okay, that means that you have 2 days of absence. So -2, you can put here, normally you don't put here -2. Okay, you put here the amount exactly. All right, so if you want the -2, you can like move it here -2, like whatever, because here is money, man. Only money should be here, money. All right, so you see how it works, right? You see how sick leave works. Now let's go on to annual leave, people's favorites. Annual leave. All right, annual leave. What is annual leave? What time is it? Okay, you are entitled to 15 work days of annual leave, excluding weekends and public holidays. and other leaves. All right. So the reason here is work days. This term work day is very important in your annual leave. Remember, every worker is entitled to leave. Okay, that's the labor laws of the Gambia and probably the labor laws of every country you find there. Rest time, you need to rest. And at lot of events and other places, these 15 days will be turned out to be more than 15 days. It might turn out to be even like 20, 25 days, depending on. I will tell you how you do the math later. All right. This is effective after only after you're fully outside. Your first year at Jollof events, you do not enjoy any annual leave. All right. You should not. Okay. And you should also take the 15 annual leave days at once. You cannot just say, okay, I will take 5 days. Later I take 2 days. No, you have to take them all at once. Go away, man. Whoop. Okay. The month that you decide to take your leave, we don't want to see you here at Jollof events. Okay. All right. So when you want to take an annual leave, you must formally, remember formally, you must formally communicate it to the CEO through the right channel. Because this is a longer type of leave, you need to fill the form, the leave request form, Leave request forms for longer periods, you need to fill this form. All right, I will explain to you how you fill this form later, but for now, let's move on. All right. All right. So when you want to take an annual leave, you must formally communicate it to the CEO through the right channels at least a week before. This public the annual leave. You need to have a week before you take a leave. Like you cannot just say tomorrow I want to take my annual leave or next tomorrow. Okay. Like today is on the 7th. All right. Today is on the 7th. Okay. Until on the 14th. All right, I have if I want to start my annual leave on, let's say, like tomorrow, next week. That's next week. Let's say starts next week. Let me see what the calendar is. The normal calendar. Okay, there is the calendar. Google Calendar. July. Okay. Okay. Let's say we are in July 7th. Okay. Next week starts with on the Monday. All right. So I should start today. Today is the day that I should be sending. Okay. If I wait until tomorrow, that means that it is less than a week, because a week from now is on the 15th, and so okay. Probably, when you want to take your leave, say it 1 week before. Okay. If it's fall within, because the company has to prepare. Okay. The company has to prepare for your absence. Probably they might tell your assistants to buckle up, because your boss will not be around, or we might put someone to cover you. The company needs to plan. Like this is plan absent, so you need to plan well, because you'll be leaving for a while. So the company needs to plan a life without you. So that means that you need 1 week. For public holiday leave, you take 1 day notice. You give 1 day notice. But for here, you give 1 week notice. All right. The CEO designated person reserves the right to accept or decline your request based on your workload. Okay. If you wait until the busy period and say, I want to take my annual leave. I keep on saying public holiday leave. Annual leave. All right. So your annual leave. All right. Because at Jola events, mostly our annual leave is mostly from April to September. All right. Because those are less busy. Okay. Although nowadays we are always busy throughout the year. But April to September, if you want to wait until December period, January period, like February period, man, that one will not be accepted. All right. Busy periods, no. Sometimes it might not be. Like, remember, the CEO will assess the situation and say yes or no, and also depending on your circumstances and stuff. Okay. All right, here is for people who are doing their first year. Okay, after your first year of service, you are entitled for a payment worth 15 days of fixed salary. All right, for your accrued leave, for your accrued annual leave. All right, remember your first year you don't enjoy the annual leave. However, these 15 days will be given to you in the form of money. Let's say if my monthly salary is $6,000. Let's say if my monthly salary is $6,000, and what will be my daily salary? 6,000 divided by 30. That's like 200. So 200 times 15. 200 times 15. That's going to be like 3,000. So 3,000 will be added to my salary in December, or or during my or during the end. Your year might not be in December always. It might be if you start in April, okay, before next April, like 1 year. Your I think your 1 year will be in May, sorry, January, February, March. March 31st, will give you, when we are giving you your salary in March 34th, we will add there 3,000 to indicate the accrued leave, annual leave that you were supposed to be paid. All right, so annual leave is here, okay? Let's assume that I want to take my annual leave August. All right, annual leave August. Okay, so what I will do here, I will request, first of all, I will use the leave request form and put my name there. Okay, so I'll put my name there. Let's say Mukhtar Jallo. This is like I need to request first. Jallo Mukhtar Jallo. All right, I put my this thing. So employee code. What is my employee code? My employee code is 2022 00, sorry, 07001. Okay. My job title, I'm the CEO. Probably in caps. CEO. CEW. What is CEW? All right. So I have it. This is my limit. So leave type is annual. Remember this form here, you can put there your annual leave, even some public holiday leaves. If you want to take like 3 days of public holidays, straight 3 days of, or even like days that are, if it's for 1 day, you don't need to put all this form, just notify the company. But if it's for longer days of absence, like the annual leave, you need to put it. So you put there, let's say the type of leave is annual leave. Remember, this form will be provided to you by the company. It will be everywhere. When you want to take a leave, you just grab it and fill this here. Okay, so start date, I want to start on the 1st. It will start on the 1st. Okay, on the 1st of August. The 1st of August. 08. August is 9. Yes, 08. August is on the 08. Let me move this well. All right. 2020, 2020, 2025, 2025. So this is the start date. All right. So now here, what this means, DDD, MMNYY, is just to guide you. Put the day first, like here, the month second, like here, and the year last. You don't put here August 1st. It might confuse the admin when they are making assessment. So, okay. All right. So, end dates. When should I expect to come? When will it end? When will my holiday end? All right. When will my leave end? So, this thing you don't put here on the 15th. Okay. Don't put here on the 15th just because it's 15 days. The reason why is because certain things are not counted. What are they? Public holidays, weekends. You don't count them. So this will extend your holiday, not only the 15 to, but more than. So this is how it's done. Let's say on the 1st, and let's say my weekends are Saturdays and Sundays. All right. Let's say my weekends are Saturdays and Sundays. So what will happen is, if I start on the 1st, okay, let's say I will count 1. I will not count here 2, 3. No, these ones are not counted. So I will count here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, not counting here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wow. So it should end on Thursday, 21st of what? August. So this is when it should end. All right. So when we come to the leave request form, I'll put here 21st. 21st, or I put there 21st. You might not even put the ST, but I just like putting here to keep it clean. All right. So we have here 08, and then we have here 2025. Yep. So this is when it should end. That means that I'm expected to come back to work. When am I expected to come back to work? Okay. Where is the calendar? Friday. I should be coming back to work Friday, 22nd. All right. So let's assume that on the 7th, look at the public holidays here. Let's ignore these public holiday days. Okay. because we have too many public holiday. Probably it's just to see you examples. Let's assume that only 19 was a public holiday. Only 19. Okay, that is only 19. Let's assume that only 19 was a public holiday. Okay, so when I was counting, I will skip here just like how I skip the weekends. Okay, let's assume here this is a public holiday. Okay, public holiday. All right, so I will do here. Okay, let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I will skip here. Okay, 13, 14, 15. Wow. So my 15 days will end on the 22nd instead of 21 because of there was a public holiday here. All right. You see how it works? Whenever it is not a work day, you don't count it. So now because of the public holiday, because normally when you are like planning this thing, you should look at the calendar. The calendars, most calendars, they will indicate the public holidays that are present. Like if I'm looking here right now at it's a QCell calendar. So it says there here on this 5th is Ashura. Like on the 5th is Ashura, which is like the Muslim New Year, like so. And on the 15th of August is Azam Sunday. So it tells you. So when you are doing this, you plan ahead and see some of the public holidays that are inside. Okay. And another thing also, when there is a public holiday in your weekend, on your weekends, this one you need to keep it for later. Okay. Or while during your public holiday, you can notify the company that there is a public holiday on your weekend. So you will still add it. You can add anyhow you want, all right, you can add anyhow you want. So you have here so coming back to the leave request form, so here instead of 21st you can say 22nd. This is when it's going to end. Remember, start date and end date. Okay, and if it's end on the 22nd, okay, you don't come even on the 23rd and on the 24th because those days are your off days. Okay, those days are your off days. So that means that you are coming back to work on Monday, 25th of August. So that means that from this day to this day, you don't come to work. What started as 15 days end up being like 24 days. All right. So that's the annual leave. Let's move on to the other types of leaves. All right. So other paid time offs, it's not only limited to paid time offs, not only limited to public holiday, sick leave, and annual leaves. Remember, we talked about that. Other paid time offs such as maternity, paternity leaves can also be taken by employees. All right. So, for example, maternity leave is like paternity leave. Like, for example, the labor laws of the Gambia says that if you happens to deliver a child, your company or your workplace will give you by force 6 months of paid leave. The company will pay you all your fixed salary while you are away. This includes like your basic salary, your travel allowances, even though you are not traveling coming to work. But the company will pay you all that thing every month for 6 months while you nurse your baby. All right. So for I think it's not fair for us fathers. I think they gave us like 2 weeks. I don't know. Yes. So those weeks you can take them. You can, if your wife delivers, you can have paternity leave. And there are other types of leaves, like random leaves. The CEO might just, or the company will just say, "Man, Modu, you have been working so hard lately. The schedule is tough on you. Take a 1 week break." Like those are all the company will be paying you for that, and so on. All right. So the leave days shall be in line with minimum labor laws of the government. Minimum labor laws. Minimum labor laws, like the labor laws say minimum we should give you I think even public holiday annual leaves, the minimum is 14. But the company just added there another day to make it, and even the minimum for like if you work at a place for like more than 2 years, 3 years, your minimum annual leave should be 21 or so. It depends. So it's all in the labor laws. We can all read it and familiarize ourselves with it. Okay, social events such as weddings and naming ceremonies are not considered paid time off unless they are incorporated in your normal paid time off, such as public holiday leaves. All right, when you have nente or wedding at your house, you cannot just say, "Hey, I cannot come today because we have like a wedding at our home." No, you have to come to work, or else it will be an abnormal absence, or it will be deducted from your salary. Unless you take request that you are not coming to work tomorrow because you want to take your public holiday leave, and this matches with your day because there is a event at your house, you can take. But when you don't have any leave available for you, and then you want to be absent just because of you have an event at your house, pip, not allowed. Unless it's your wedding. You might negotiate with the CEO, or the CEO, you don't negotiate because, this is life. The company will say, yeah, it is my wedding, or it's my naming ceremony. Okay. All right. Okay. Note that when taking any paid time off lasting more than a day, you must clearly indicate the beginning and end date of it. Just like here, okay? The beginning and end dates. Pew. The beginning day and the end date. It's not like the day that you are supposed to come back. No, it's the day that you are starting. Like if I'm taking three, let's say in August here, I'm taking like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as my like public holiday leave. Probably I have 3 days of, remember here I had 3 days of leave, but on my closing balance. All right, let's say in August I want to take this. So this is July, whatever. Let's say I still want to enjoy after my holiday. My holiday was nice. I don't want it to end. I can write and say on the 25th, on the 26th, and on the 27th, I'm taking my public holiday leaves. Okay, so you can request another form. Okay, you put their start date 25 on the 25. Okay, and end date this thing. That means that if it ends this days, I should be coming back on Thursday. All right, on Thursday. So you don't, like what this point is mentioning here. Taking a paid time off. If you take a paid time off, let's say today I was sick. I mentioned it. I could not come. Okay. So I don't expect that because some sicknesses last more than a day. All right. So today I'm sick. I'm so sick. I cannot come. I notify the company before the opening time. Everything is smooth. And then tomorrow, okay, the sickness still is not, I haven't feel better. I cannot just be absent like that. Because it's not because, hey, I told the company I was sick. No. Like the following day, you should repeat the same method. Tell the company I cannot come because my sickness is still disturbing me. Okay? Then you notify the company again. I cannot come because my sickness is still disturbing me the following day. Unless you mention the day one that you are being sick that, okay, I am not coming today and I don't expect to recover until XXY date. And then you need to provide evidence about that as well, depending on your sickness. Okay? All right. So if you are sick, very, very sick, and then, you cannot be like saying, okay, I have headache. Okay, so I cannot be able to come like for 7 days because my headache is this. No, the company will say, hey, this headache, no. Like you should be able to recover for so like stuff. Okay, so you need to be careful about these things very much. Like if you are absent today, the next day you need to repeat the same, unless you say I'm going to be absent for XYZ days from this day to that day. All right. So the CEO, although very rare, may grant. So sorry, if you are not sure of your return date, you must renew the request on daily basis. All right. The CEO, although very rare, may grant you random paid time off. I've talked about this. Okay. Like this include Eid holidays. Let's say Eid holiday normally day one and day two is the public holiday, but the day three is not public. But the company can say, day three you can extend your public holiday. Or as I mentioned, when the company realized that certain people have been working so much, they can like give them a rest like a day or two or a week depending on the situation.